Christmas is coming. Are you ready for another little story, folks? I had just bought the tractor, well, maybe a few months, and I had it at the camp, and I want to dig, like expand the roads and things, eh? But I find that there's a lot of, well, they call that alluvial till, okay? So I was finding it very time consuming and hard to dig out. If I used a bucket, I could get 2 spoonfuls at the time, and if I turn things around and I use the backhoe, well, back and forth, like yeah, I can dig it out with the backhoe, but I can't move it, so you gotta turn around, pick it back up with the bucket. So I decided, well, I started looking around, and I went to horse equipment. This is not a small company. I think they're on the Great Lakes, Lake Huron, I think, or Georgian Bay, and around that area. And they're Mennonites, and they have a fab shop, heavy duty metal fab shop. Like what I bought was just a small example of what they can produce, but horse equipment, HLE, it's 3 letters anyways, and it's written right on the bucket. I don't have the bucket with me. I have a remnants. Okay, it's right here. You can't see it. I'll show you eventually. I ordered, I figure, hey, and then I went to their catalog and look in there, and I figure, I gonna get this bucket. It's not as wide, like my bucket is 6 feet, so I'm gonna order a 5-foot bucket so I can have more. I'm just gonna use a common term is strength with the lift arms, eh? Okay, so I wanted a pretty big mount, and so I see this bucket, okay, that seems to me like it's a good size, and then I said, well, I'm gonna put a heavy duty cutting edge on it, and I'm gonna put some teeth on it. So this, okay, all comes with it's all welded on the bucket. And then I turn around and I say, if I do that, the bucket may be weak because I've, it's not made to dig in rock and stuff like that. So I better increase the size of the plate that it's made with. Anyways, so I ordered this. I ordered it from Horst, but it comes through John Deere, like a John Deere dealer, and because I guess they sell through. Well, I think they sell through any tractor supplier. I think they do, and so I order it, and it comes in. And I just have my limousine. Hang on, right there. I only have my limousine, so I take the trailer, eh? So I go to there, to the tractor supply, and so they put it in the trailer. So I found coming home that I could feel it in the trailer, eh? My God, that's pretty heavy, eh? Cousin of mine, he comes to my place, eh? And to offer me sympathy for my mother's decease, and he said he seen the bucket in the brand new bucket, and he says, "What are you gonna put that on?" I says, my little tractor at the camp. He says, that's way too much bucket for that tractor. I told him the size of tractor I had, eh? He says, you can double the size, he says, and it's still a lot. So I didn't know what he was, I knew what he was talking about, but I figured the tractor can handle it, eh? But to the camp and tried it, and yeah, big. I was dismayed. I wanted to show you while I think about it. This is one of the remnants of what I had to do with the buckets. See this, folks? It's a chunk. I had to cut that bucket down, height-wise, mouth-wise. I took the teeth off. There was a cutting bar inside there. I didn't need that cutting bar, so I ended up re-welding the teeth right on the bucket. It had a cutting edge, a 6-inch cutting edge inside of that. Anyways, look at a size. Hang on, can you see that? Hang on, look. Can you see that? How thick that is? Eh? It's about a 1/4 inch thick. Ha! Way too much for. And hang on, I gotta fix this. It's sitting on. I had this on the other side, but I brought it in here. I said, I'm gonna show you them. This just a piece, eh? But I had to tear this bucket, tear both sides, cut the bottom, the upper part, like going up. I had to re-weld the brackets on I may as well have built a bucket myself. Really. Wow. And one of the key things about cutting the bucket, I started off with a smaller. I had a grinder. I had paid a lot of money for that. It was called it was made by Walters. It was called a Big Six, eh? And these were one of the first great grinder cutters that come out, eh? From Walters. I still have it, but it doesn't work anymore. I could have got it fixed by buying these cheap grinders instead, eh? Like I see one right there from Mastercraft, and I see another one there that I think I paid $22 for those. They're orange and they're probably made in China, eh? When they don't work, you don't get them fixed, you just hoof them out and get another one. Anyways, okay, so that's what I started off using to cut the bucket. But I ended up, you know what I was using? I got a chop saw with 14-inch disc on it, electric chop saw. Why, I brought it to the farm. I used to have a gas cutting saw, and the disc from the chop saw, I had found or made a bushing that it fit into the chop saw. But these discs, they're not made to put in a gas cutting saw, eh? Because the RPM, I think, is maybe twice what they should be, eh? And when you rev up the saw with the gas, eh, you can see it going like that, eh? But would that ever cut, mister? I increased the cutting there by at least 4 times the speed to cut. And okay, one of the results is very negligent sometimes, eh? And I wasn't putting no mask on, eh? and oh, I was for 2 years. I breathe in, but I more or less hyperventilate. I'd had a hard time taking a real. I must have had some metal dust on the lungs, but eventually it came to be better, I guess. I don't know if you ever get rid of that altogether. All sorts of stuff in life, eh? You don't think of it but you muck up your health. Anyways, I find I laugh, but it's not that funny anymore. Anyways, yeah, so I cut that and I spent about 2 weeks welding on it. Probably cost me more in electricity than it cost to buy the bucket, electricity and the rods. But I re-welded it all and I brought it to the cottage, and not last year, the year before, I loaded it in the truck. But I'm going to show you the video. My son just posted that not too long ago, where I was in the tractor and I had the bucket inside the tractor bucket, and it was going to be loaded into the back of my limousine here. And I'm taking it to the farm. See, they have a lot of room for storage, eh? Well, storage or whenever the small tractor eventually is going to the farm, so it'll be part of that. Or if they want to use it for something else, that bucket, I don't need it because that didn't turn out to be what it could have been. So it just goes to show sometimes, like you get ideas. Well, anyways, I can't talk about other people, but I get ideas, and I'll go down the trail with that idea, but doesn't turn out to be what I thought it'd be, So whatever I gotta dig that's left, I can dig it with the backhoe and scoop it with the bucket and move it around. Anyways, I wanted to show you, the little video. I'm just gonna show you that right now. You guys remember this video? Wow. It's a previous video. The story is all about the bucket that's inside the bucket. Like there's 2 buckets there. Well, the story is about that bucket that's inside there. Stand by. Just to show what the bucket looked like. You got an idea just by the looks of it there. But that's the end story. Sometimes you really have... Well, it's hard to imagine things like... Okay, you guys have time for just a little story here. I've noticed, okay, and then a lot of people say that it's hard when you look at a plan. It's hard to imagine the end result. Okay, it's just like me. My forte is electrical. Well, when I look at an electrical plan, I can visualize in my head the end result. Like, my specialty wasn't electrical in houses, but when I was building houses, okay, for myself, I could imagine like what I needed in the house mentally, and then I'd draw a print, or I wouldn't even draw a print. I'd go in the house and I'd done the electrical. And it ended out, well, okay, it's always the case of you put more, especially when it's your trade, you never regret it. You don't put enough, then you regret it. I see these people on the YouTube, and they say, I'm thinking of one guy, but I won't mention his name. He was building a house, and he insulated, like Sean in Alaska. He's building his house, and he bought the insulation, and it's in the house. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's going to insulate that. It's like putting the cart before the horse, eh? And they're going to do it later. Or another guy, eh? But I won't mention his name, but I had told him on a comment, I says, why aren't you, he's off the grid, and I think, in the day, I think it was 24 or maybe 48 volt solar system he's running on, eh? So I had told him, I says, while you're at it, wire the house and just put, he must have been on 12 volt, because I had told him, I said, just put normal lights and then buy 12 volt light bulbs. Anyways, he says, I'll never use electrical, I'll never be hooked up to electrical. Well, now he's got a inverter, and he's running a bunch of solar panel. I think I don't know if he's 68 volts or 64 volts or what he's running, but it's in a higher voltage. But he's hooked, like he's got an inverter, and he's got 110, 220 now. But he's running pipes on the inside, scepter pipes on the walls. That looks real good. See, he didn't take, okay, it's going to take a week or two, but you do it when it's time to do it. Hey, I'm thinking of all sorts of stuff. The guy, Sean in Alaska, he's nailing the plywood, and he's got never mind, Sean. I was going to say, he said he's going to nail the plywood later. You never get the later. You put the other stuff on top, and then the nailing gets forgotten. The other guy that I was talking about that wasn't going to wire his house, and he's putting scepter. Well, he's building a barn, and these, like the rafters there, like they got the little bird, you're supposed to cut a bird's mouth on the end so that they sit on the walls. Well, he didn't cut that, and he just sitting them on there, not even toenailing them. And he says, I'm going to do it later. Well, right now, he's got the tin on the roof, and those are just sitting there, and they're supported by the like they're affixed to the beam at the top. But what's that going to be doing? You see, that's going to sag with time, okay? And you get the results of that. There's a reason why you got to put bird's mouth, but you got to put them when it's time to put them. You don't always do it after. Like, he can't. I know what he wanted to do. He says he's going to cut a little gusset and stick it in there. It doesn't. First of all, you can't nail it, okay? Because you're stuck. You're either in under the wall, okay, and then you got two thicknesses of wood, and he's using rough wood, or you're on top and the tin's there hanging. Yeah, it's always things I get in my mind when I look at. So when the moral of the story is, when it's time to do something, you do it. You don't put it aside and say, I'm going to do it later. But this has nothing to do with today's story. Today's story is all about things are not always what they seem like they're going to be, and then sometimes it's hard to visualize what you're going to end up with. It's been stretched out, eh? I hope they're not all like this, eh? And it ended up almost to be a gripe, eh? Okay, folks, hey, now's your chance to subscribe if you want to hear more. And, yeah, comments are welcome. And don't forget, we'll see you in the next one.